Hey, what's up? Um, Alsamus? Is that your name? Alsamus? Alsamus. Alright, what are we asking the audience tonight? Alright, I have a good question for you all. Hey, Rabin. I'm just writing the poll out for you guys. I've done a take home. I both haven't done any yet. All right, there's the poll. I love getting an interactive question in, you guys. Yeah. I mean, you could vote. Both. I'm just gonna quickly check what this stream looks like on my whoa, what have I done? Uh-oh, my whoa, I've bugged it. I've bugged Safari out of existence. Oh my god, I actually killed it. It died. Safari died. What the hell?
This problem of
Whoa. Oh man. Alright, let me just fix this Safari. Crazy Safari issue. What happened? There we go. But why is it weirdly small in shape again? What is happening here? What? Seriously? Oh, is it because I didn't make it wide? Or is it? Well, better. Not the best, but still better. Better than before. Right, let me check this. Here we go. Okay, well, we're gonna make this bigger for now because we're watching this video here. This is actually apparently an interview that he did, this guy. So let's take a look at this here. Okay. I just realized I need my AirPods. No. And my video's off. Oops. Oops. Damn, I'm really not set up. What the hell? Pocket was out. Oh man, I just left this on the floor. I'm so bad at being a slob right now. Okay. Jeez. It's can't. It's it's stuck. It's has to get wet, I think.
Why did you do that?
Cause I was trying to wash. Cause I know you didn't want to wash that. Okay. Alright, what's my volume? Let's start watching this because I'm kind of halfway through. Okay. That was weird. I actually started with Swift, like from the very beginning. From the start, this has been like the same language that I've been learning. Yep, of course I did. Of course.
Adding a contact here. So now what I want to do is, as I mentioned before, inject this view model as an environment property on the add contact view. So I'm going to go here and say .environment view model. And now I'll be able to go to the add contact view and add another environment property here, which is my contacts view model .self var view model. And now I'll be able to, through means or via the view model, add my contact from here. And need to go here and also set that up on the preview so we don't have a crash. So that's going to be our contact.
Alright, I'm back. So, just for fun, I'm gonna show you guys this app that I made with the help of partially me, but I think this is one of my first apps. So, it was mostly made by AI, but I had this idea that I wanted to solve, so I got help with it. I've since actually learned how to do I believe all of this. Let me just check. You can tell it's AI because it's all in one file. Look, that's all in content view. I think there's maybe a couple things in here that I don't. That I probably that I understand but don't know how to properly do, or maybe I just like here. So I think that's the keyboard, yeah. It's just a standard thing. Oh, you can't see that? Wait, what? Oh my god. What the hell? Okay, there we go. Why is this not working? Okay. So yeah, I was just scrolling around through this. So this app here is one file, so clearly organized by AI. But it's basically a work fuel calculator. And I use it to help me figure out how much money I owe, like, back to my shared account, my shared bank account, because it's always a pain to try and figure out like the cost of fuel for work, because I do delivery things like Uber and Amazon. So I calculate my work kilometers, my fuel usage, and the costs and stuff, and then it calculates like exactly what I need to do. So it's like a really useful thing for me. And today, I had AI build a lot of this a while ago. And today this morning, I was using it, and I sometimes I just want to test the limits of AI, and I put this code into Gemini, and I was like, can you make this like glass themed? And then it just this was really ugly before, okay? This is one of my first apps. It was really ugly. And then just auto did this with the visuals. So it's kind of hard to read, but it's way better than it was. But it is a bit bigger too. So there's like the scrolling needed a little bit. Otherwise, really good. It's crazy how you can just send a random prompt idea to AI, and then it will just automatically generate it. It's shocking. It does look really nice. You're complimenting the AI's work right now. Yeah, and then just auto-did that background as well. So, but yeah, these are just really basic buttons. This just adds more trips in here. You can add more, like, because I don't like do it every time, so I want to be able to add all my trips in that I saved. Like that fuel purchase session or something. I don't know, like the period of where I filled up to where it was empty and then I filled again. That's when I calculate it. So yeah, I just wanted to show that. I thought it was really cool how AI just like took the app and just automatically fully made it still completely functional, but really nice looking. Oh, my eyes still hurt from earlier. I was cutting an onion a little bit. I think my fiance's eyes are really, really bad right now. Thank you, Mohammed. Appreciate it. I appreciate your efforts as well. I'm sure you're doing something good. Yeah, common AI win. I mean, I'm never thinking like, well, how should I say this? I'm never dissing the ability of AI to like speed up coding. I'm dissing, I guess the word dissing, but like it's not good to use AI instead of learning is what's not good. Like instead versus like making an active effort. So like, for example, you could totally tell AI to like do some really intricate stuff and like create a very complicated app, which I actually kind of have a little bit. Sorry, a bit tired. But the part where you learn is you can still do that to learn, but what you have to do is when you look through the app, you have to actively figure out what is actually happening at every part, and you have to look up everything and understand it. That's when you learn. So I feel like that's, as much as that does or could work, it's not as effective, I think, as learning just straight off the bat yourself without having written anything, so you can see it is sort of in its base form, not necessarily being used in something yet. Does that make sense? So let's check this out a little bit more, this video.
Text view model. So ultimately here, I need to like create a contact from using these values, and then through use of the view model, append that contact to my data source. And let's make sure our preview is good to go. Yes, so we're good to go. So I typically like to create a private extension on my views to house the functions. So I could say func add contact, and then we
now on Xcode Swift app diary using AI, using llama. What is that? Local device processing. Yo, what's up, Zakaria? What's up? It's really good you're working on a diary app. Oh, is it? Okay. You came in here just to tell me it was an LLM made by Meta. What a dumb name. Llama. Llama's a server locally, like GPT. Oh, okay. Is it just me who judged the name? My Mac is an M1 Pro 2021 model, 16-inch. My coding experience is probably about 5 months worth of non-stop learning daily, generally. Do you mean here? Like in my video? My background? Yes, it is. It's really good. I actually started out video editing. Like, the reason I got it was for video editing. But then I realized I didn't like editing videos. So, yeah, Zakaria, I did actually, like before this, my table here, which is what you're sitting on, was like turned around like 180 degrees. And I've got my back to like the wall now, because there's, I feel like, living with, 2 people, it's in such a small place, which we have now. It can be, a video can, might see things that you're not supposed to see. So it's better to look at the wall. Yeah, exactly. Recall before you were in a living room or something. Yeah, I'm in the same room. It's just 180 degrees. We're at the wall now. You noticed. Start with Kaput as a beginner, then move up to iMovie, DaVinci Resolve. Well, I actually use Final Cut Pro, and I'm quite decently proficient in it. So, like I still do video editing. Like there's tons of videos on my channel. It's just that I'm not a huge fan. I love filming, editing not so much. That's why I do so many lives. Kaput is really user friendly. I don't doubt it. This is probably similar to CapCut, I'm assuming. You don't want your GF not to be able to pass behind you just because you're streaming. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. CapCut. Yeah. Kaput. It's really tedious. Yeah, it is really, really tedious. It's fun if you have like fun effects and stuff, and you can put them in there. And I've actually made a few of my effects, to my own surprise that I actually made them. But and putting them on is fun too. But like it is a lot of work. That's all good, Mohammed. No problem. So today we are actually. Were you here when I showed my app off before? A second ago? My app? Yeah, photo editing is just one single thing. Here, I'll just show you real quickly. This app here. It's oh, fair enough. No, I had my day off yesterday, and I don't know, I'm still deciding which days I want to consistently stream on. I think at least probably Friday and Sunday will be a break. So this app here is actually a work trips app, because I do Uber Eats and Amazon delivery, and basically I put all my details in there and it calculates it, because I needed this. I needed an AI, or wanted to use an AI, because I don't like doing math that much, to like calculate the cost of my the fuel that I use in the car, and then it tells me also how much I need to put back in to my shared account, because I use a joint account, so like for fuel purchases, so that way it makes it super easy for me to figure out how much I actually owe for my own fuel, because I'm not gonna make my fiance pay for fuel, so for my work, you know what I mean. So I was just, but the cool part about this is that like this is one of my first ever apps, and it looked, I was saying it looked really bad before this morning, and I like, once I fixed it up a little bit, I took all the code, put it into Gemini, and I was like, can you give this a glass, like clear look or visual style? And it just did this in like 2 seconds. So yeah, it made it look a lot nicer very quickly. This app was mostly made actually by AI and a little bit me, because it was, one of my first apps, so I wasn't quite sure what I was doing, but I had a vision. I had a vision for this app.
Good. Simple.
But yeah, today we are actually looking at this job interview example, and what we're going to be doing, because I'm watching this at the moment, but what we're going to be doing, it won't be today, unfortunately, because it's a little bit late and I do have to get up early, but I can't, I don't want to miss more days of streaming, but what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making this with the instructions and maybe the end result later, because I figure, this is apparently an exact interview that this guy got, so if I can do what he did here, then I should be able to technically pass an interview. So we're gonna definitely try to build this, and we won't be building it with him, but we might have to get some questions answered if I can't remember everything. So I might have to reference it, I'm not sure yet, but I want to get to the point where I can do it myself, and a lot of it I think I can already do, to be honest. Like, I recognize a lot of this. Just simple math, it looks really nice. The BG is a bit weird, but you should remove the side scroll bar and it'll be perfect. Yeah. That's a good idea. The background is a bit weird, the AI did that, so don't blame me, please. Stupid scroll bar. Let's continue with this for now.
We go here and say add contact, and we pretty,
like he said, this is an actual take-home interview he got, or was it live? I don't know. But it's interesting that this is an interview that he got, but that I myself am recognizing and know how to do a lot of this stuff, like most of it, almost all of it actually. There's some things I don't or didn't know for sure, but I'm actually so proud of myself that, like, all this time I've been studying, right, and learning Swift, and then now of all days I come across this video randomly and it's an actual interview and I seem to know. Yeah, that's crazy for me. I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud.
much just need to construct a contact through the properties that we have. So we're going to say let contact equal contact.
I know, right? I'm persistent.
ID can just be some, uuid.uuid string, first name, last name, and email. And we could go here, and we could either just say directly like viewModel.contacts.
How did he do that? Holy shit. Did you see that?
uuid.uuid string, first name, last name, and email. And
There's a button for that? What? Or did he cut that? I don't know. I need that shortcut. I need it. Yeah, I know. I do need to learn it, yeah. It'll make things so much easier. I just downloaded Xcode and started coding, man. So I've only just like changed my my visuals in the background and stuff. I've chosen my colors and shit. I've just been coding this whole time. I changed this, changed all these. I'm loving my visuals now. That, strings. Just love it.
go here, and we could either just say directly like.
Okay, hold on a sec. I need to go back because. Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
And let's make sure our preview is good. So set that up on, and that contact to my data source. And let's make sure our preview.
Wait a second.
Oh, I'll be able to
use NeoVim. NeoVim propaganda. I don't even know what that is. What is NeoVim? Oh, okay. Yeah. So like it's instead of Xcode, right? Oh wait, what? No. Oh, it plugs in. It's a plugin. You can customize it totally. Oh, okay. I'll look into that. Save that website.
To through means or via the view model, add my contact from here, and need to go here and also set that up on the preview so we don't have a crash. So that's going to be our
Vim shortcut so you don't need to use your mouse. Ooh, that's really good. You know what? I don't. Does it work with Xcode though? That's the question. Cause I think a lot of things don't.
text view model. So ultimately here, I need to like create a contact from using these values, and then through use of the view model, append.
Okay. All right. I need to learn about that because I'm not versed on the Vim stuff.
A contact to my data source. And let's make sure our preview is good to go. Yes, so we're good to go. So I typically like to create a private extension on my views to house the functions. So I could say func add contact. And then we could simply go here and say add contact.
Interesting.
And we pretty much just need to construct a contact
Private
through
extension.
the properties that we have. So we're going to say let contact equal contact. ID can just be some, uuid.uuid string, first name, last name, and email. And we could go here and we could either just say directly like viewModel.contacts.append contact, or we could have some sort of method on the view model itself. And I feel like that second option is the way to go. And the reason for that is because I want to house or encapsulate all of our CRUD operations in one place, and I don't want to have them scattered across multiple components. So back in our view model, we can make a couple functions. Let's just go ahead and create one to add a contact. And we could simply say contacts.append contact here. And while we're at it, we could make a function to delete a contact, which is a contact, and update a contact. And we could fill out the implementation for these functions a little later.
Interesting.
But once again, now all of our CRUD
separate
operations are
function for-
encapsulated within this view model instead of being scattered across components. Like we don't want the update function to exist, or the logic for that to exist within the edit screen, and the add function to exist within the add contact screen. They're all in one place and they all modify.
How have I been streaming for an hour already? I didn't even realize it.
At this data source here. So I think the logic for that is better. So back in our add contact view, we would then simply just go here and call.
So a lot of you guys haven't done any interviews yet, but some of you have done both live and take home. Wow. How'd they go? Any successes?
ViewModel.add contact, which is our contact.
I
The
think I'm missing something.
add contact screen, they're all in one place and they all modified this data source here. So I think the logic for that is better. So back in our add contact view, we would then simply just go here and call ViewModel.add contact, which is our contact. And ideally, if we have time, we could come back and implement some form validation here just to make sure that the form meets the requirements for, maybe having a valid email, a valid name, so on and so forth. But for now, we'll just assume valid inputs. So this looks pretty good. Add contact and dismiss. Let's go ahead and see if we can test this out. That should be good enough for our preview to actually add a contact. So here, let's do Scotty.
Been working as a dev for 6 years, so I guess so. Oh, congrats, man. That's awesome.
Pippin, Scotty@gmail.com. Hit done. And that adds our contact there beautifully. So our add contact functionality is working. Let's go ahead and head back to our prompt and check that off our list. So we go here and we can now add a contact. Next up, I think what we can do is get started with our edit contact functionality. So let's see, guys. We're going to need to allow users to edit an existing contact's details, add some presentation logic for the save button, and
Now, I think editing is something I need to cover once again.
if changes have been made, try to add an alert confirmation. But these two guys are bonus
Like making sure it actually overrides the save of the edit.
features. So we're going to focus on just the main functionality of this first and then come back to these later if we have time. That's what I would say to the interviewer there, obviously. So let's go and start implementing our edit contact functionality. And before we get started with that, guys, really quickly, wanted to just go back to the add contact view and discuss what happened when we got to line 60 here with the adding contact. we had the option to simply just add the logic for adding a contact to our view model's data source directly from the view, but we chose to put that in the view model and explained that we want to encapsulate all of the CRUD functionality or all of the code that is involved with manipulating and updating this data source inside of this view model component. So this allows for better encapsulation and explain.
I like this guy's stuff because he like does everything that I feel that I would do as well. And he also follows the MVVM. Is it MVVM model? MVVM architecture? Or organization structure?
That to the interviewer is very important so that they can see how you structure your code and how you think sort of logically through these problems. And that's my approach of doing this. You guys could absolutely use other approaches. Just make sure that you explain to the interviewer why you are choosing to do it that way and why you think it's the best way of accomplishing it. So, guys, let's go to our edit contact view now. Let's actually see where we're at with clicking on this guy. So this looks really good, right? So now we just need to be able to actually edit that contact and save it. So guys, inside of our edit contact view, I believe we're going to need to add our view model to that as well. So we're going to want to place our, what's it called? View model as an environment object or on the environment of our edit contact view. And we're going to want to get this line of code.
Like, I think most of you guys are not doing anything with Swift, right? Do you guys ever see like Swift related videos on your YouTube when you go there? Or is it just generally like the exact, like the code that you generally look up if you look up code there?
Here as well.
I mean, that's a weird question considering you found my video, right? Why would my video be suggested if you weren't getting suggested random Swift stuff too? Because mine definitely has. I mean, I guess mine says like getting a job as a junior developer, but like, yeah, I mean, I can understand that part. Yeah, true. Like half, like, what is the word? Like arguing with myself, sort of clarifying with myself.
Where we, access the view model through the environment property wrapper there. So edit contact view here,
Jeez,
and
man.
we're good to go. Okay, so ultimately, guys,
So weird,
when we delete a contact, let's just go ahead and start filling out our implementation for these functions. We're going to say view model dot delete contact, which would be that contact that we pass in here.
Ow.
And also, we would go here and say we want to add our contact. So let's actually make a private extension, or sorry, update our contact. Edit contact view, func update contact, which is our, actually we don't need an input parameter there. And here we could just call update contact. And this would just be view model dot update contact with that contact, right? And to ensure that our preview still works, let's just go ahead and add.
I don't watch any Swift at all. I don't know really know how this showed up, but it is interesting to see. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, I mean, it must have shown up because I said I wanted to be a junior developer, right? Or something like that. I don't even remember what I named my stream. Something like that, though. That's probably why. I do C# React and Rust normally, so that is what usually shows up. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that makes more sense, to be honest. I think my generalized first few keywords were perhaps the ones that might have got it to show up.
Our view model as an environment here, contacts view model. Cool. And we can also make a function here to delete our contact, guys, that just calls the delete contact method, view model dot delete contact, which is our contact. And let's just go ahead and make sure we call this in the right place. Boom. Once again, that isn't completely necessary. I just like having all of my functionality like encapsulated in some sort of extension on the view so that it's not hard for me to find it when I'm digging through the code. So I know that this is my delete contact function. I don't have to go here and find it inside of my view body. And
Zakaria, it's time to give him a take-home interview.
if this function gets more complex, I don't want to clog up my view with a bunch of code that involved in deleting a contact, right? I just want to call a simple function here, which is why I like doing this. So let's go ahead and see if we can resume our preview and see if this works. And guys, that should be all we need to do. So let's go ahead and see if that works. Actually, we need to call dismiss here as well. And we can just call dismiss here as well. And let's go ahead and test this out, man. It should be as easy as that. Or actually, nope. We have to implement the functionality inside of our view model. So let's go ahead and jump into our view model and actually add the implementations for these functions now. Okay, guys. Like, so this is going to test your ability to actually.
I was like, when are you gonna do the functionality of it?
Like manipulate a data source. Can you find this contact in that array of contacts and delete it? I want you guys to pause the video and see if you can accomplish that yourself.
Jacob, I think Zakaria is asking if you want to work for them, not can they work for you, right? Or am I misinterpreting that?
Same thing with updating the contact. And once you do try that out, come back to the video and see if our solutions match. Okay, so guys, in order to delete this particular contact, we need to search through our array here, find it, and then remove it at that particular index. So ultimately, what we want to call
Jacob's not looking to hire, he's looking to get hired.
is
I'm kidding. I don't know what he's looking for.
contacts.remove at index, right? So we need to find the index of this contact. So I'm going to say
right, so you have to create
guard let index equal contacts dot first index where 0.id equals our contact.id. Else return. And then I'm going to remove my contact at that index.
Okay, I haven't seen this method before, actually. So that's good.
So
for me.
This is where having that unique identifier really comes in handy. It helps us find a contact in that array very easily with the use of this line of code here. So because we know that each contact will have a unique identifier, we can absolutely check the equatability of contacts using the ID property. So that's super nice to have. And updating our contact is going to be very, very similar. Instead of removing the contact at that index, we are simply going to replace the contact at that index. So we're going to need this guy here again. And then we're just going to say contacts index equals that updated contact. So that's it for the implementation of our functions there, guys. Now, if we go back to our contacts view, we should be able to test this out to see if it's working. So I'm going to go and say, I want to change jumpman23@gmail.com to gmail.co, save, and check that out, guys. It updates and it propagates that change back to our data source. So that looks absolutely incredible. And let's go ahead and see if we can delete a contact as well. Same thing. We're good to go there. And 20, that updated contact. X index equals that updated contact.
Make contacts at that index. Equal contact.
replace the contact at that index. So we're
Right.
going to need this guy here again. And then we're just going to say contacts index equals that updated contact. So
This chat is now classified.
that's it for the implementation of our functions there, guys. Now, if we go back to our contacts view, we should be able to test this out to see if it's working. So I'm going to go and say, I want to change Jumpman @gmail.com to gmail.co. Save and check that out, guys. It updates and it propagates that change back to our data source. So that looks absolutely incredible. And let's go ahead and see if we can delete a contact as well. Same thing, we're good to go there. So let's head back to our prompts and check that item off of our list. So we can delete a contact and we can edit a contact. And like I said, we'll come back to our bonus features later. Next up, we need to implement searchability. So let's go ahead and see if we can do that. Back to our contacts view and check out what we got going on with our searching. So we have search text here and we have this searchable modifier somewhere right here. So we just need to make sure that we filter through the contacts based on certain criteria. So we're going to want to make sure that we check the user's full name and also their email and return the filtered results. So how are we going to do that? I think the best place to put that is on the view model. So what we can do is make another function here, guys, for like filtered contacts, or we could call it search results.
This is another thing that I actually have to properly learn. The filtering thing. I had a problem with it before.
And we are going to say, check that out, man. I really love the code prediction with the new Xcode 16. It's awesome. So this is going to return an array of contacts. So we just need to pass along.
Hey, Hydroxer. I'm pretty good. Bit tired at the moment. When am I not, I guess, right? How are you? Actually, I'm also pretty pumped because I found this video. That is literally a take-home interview. iOS take-home interview. And I'm gonna learn it to death. And but I'm so proud of myself because I know most of it, which is crazy. After like a few months of learning Swift.
This query, right? And guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to say guard that the query is empty. And I'm going to just hit tab there. So if the query isn't empty, then we're just going to, or sorry, is empty, then we're going to return the contacts. Pretty simple, right? Next up, if it's not empty, we're going to say return view, contacts dot filter, and we're going to say $0 dot first name dot localized case insensitive contains our query, or we can just copy and paste this and do the same thing on last name, or email.
Oh, that's interesting. I think that, yeah, that has to be, whatever it's going to put that.
And remove those or statements there. And that's it for our search results. So basically, we make sure the query isn't empty. And if it is, we return our contacts, right? So it would just return this. And if it's not empty, then we filter based on this query.
Jeez,
and we check the first name, and we use this localized case
Onion
insensitive
eyes.
contain. So this will make sure that everything is
My eyes
basically
probably a bit red, to be
localized
honest right
and lowercased when it's checked against the query. And same thing for last name, same thing for email. So that's all we should have to do for our searching, guys. Next up, we can go into our contacts view And I could make a computed property here called search results, which is an array of contacts. And I could say return viewModel.search results for that search text. And instead of looping through viewModel.contacts, we're just going to loop through our viewModel.search results, or these search results here. So now let's test this out. If I say Jumpman, check that out, dude. Working beautifully.
What UUID standard does Swift library use? I actually don't know. What? I actually don't know. Let's check. This? It seems. Bro, my eye. Oh my god. Let me get some eye drops. Hold on. I think it's getting worse. Have you applied for any companies? Not yet. Because as much as I think I know, I feel like I'm not that confident yet. So that's why I was looking at something like this, which is like a showing what I might encounter in an interview and see if I know that stuff, which I actually know a lot of, which is really good. By the way, if anyone wants to, I did set up a Discord if anyone wants to join that hasn't. Here's the link to invite. And if anyone hasn't subscribed and you're willing to help me out get to 1,000 subscribers, that would be awesome. Would love your assistance. Taking the money back from YouTube. How old is the video? It is 2 months old. 2 months, which is awesome. And like he said in the beginning, this is an actual interview that he had. So I'm just like blowing my mind here because of how much I actually know of this. Yeah, very recent. Yeah, insane. With Swift, actually, I believe the newer stuff is easier because of the way that they changed it to be more like readable, I guess. That much from juniors back then. Like that much as in general that much, or that much as in like how much is being shown in this video? Like this much of the video. Oh, maybe this is a senior interview. But to be honest, there's not that many junior jobs available, but there's a lot more seniors. As in general, yeah. Well, I don't know, it's weird because like I kind of think to myself like maybe like I know all this, but surely there's way more to being a senior developer than that. But then I see this and I'm like, well, I know most of that actually. So am I actually senior level almost, or am I better than I thought? I am completing my portfolio. Yes, I have. Well, I have some apps that I'm working on. Let's just say that. Aside from the one that I think you've seen, Hydroxer, I'm not sure. the one we were working on before, which is the what was it? The yeah, the stretching app. Geez, I had a mind blank then. When they hired a junior from right out of college, they wouldn't even expect them to know what Kafka is. I don't even know what Kafka is. All I think when I see Kafka is Kaiju number 8. That juniors are easily replaceable, and you gotta know all the suite of tools you should know to build production ready code. That makes sense. They are easily, because like AI, right? Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's really gonna depend, isn't it, on like what the company needs, I suppose, and what I'm applying for. Because I definitely don't have certain skills, but I do have what's on here pretty much, so I don't know, I think I'll have to shop around kind of for the right job, or the right like application to apply for, perhaps. We'll see. I'm sure there's something there somewhere.
Kobe. And if I click on him,
I'm
it
just
goes
gonna
to
get some eye drops real quick. Hold on. What is LILE? Lyle. Senior engineer vacancy. Yeah. I mean, that seems potentially.
Kobe Bryant's contact. If I edit him and save it, it updates that there. It updates that when I cancel. And that is looking absolutely beautiful, guys. So that wraps it up for our search functionality. So let's go back to our prompt and check that off our list as well. Boom.
The question that I also need to figure out is where to look for a job, because I've looked at Seek before, but I don't know, it doesn't seem to have quite the right jobs. And I don't know, I need to maybe look at some like job boards or something for dev postings or something. I don't know. Oh, thank you. This is nothing more than leaf juice. I love Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Boom, and that wraps up the whole thing. And before we hop into implementing our bonus features with our edit, contact, and contact deletion, guys, once again, going to take a quick pause here and talk about what we just did with that searchable functionality. So back in our contacts view, we implemented this search results computed property that calls on this viewModel.search results function. So the big takeaway here is, why did we put the logic for filtering our results on the view model instead of putting it on the view? Oftentimes when you see examples like this for how to implement the searchable functionality in a SwiftUI list, you'll see the logic inside of the view. I think it's better to put in the view model for multiple reasons. One is testability. So if we want to test our search functionality, now this functionality exists on the view model, and we could write tests to make sure that it works as expected. Whereas if we put that on the view, it would be harder to test that functionality, or we would have to write UI tests, whereas here we can write unit tests for this functionality. So another thing, guys, is overall code encapsulation and modularization, and really like creating a separation of concerns here. Everything involved with updating or manipulating our data source, all of that functionality exists within our view model. We don't have certain functionality or pieces of like stuff that is responsible for doing that on the view model, and other pieces scattered across our app in different views that that's kind of random, and it doesn't really adhere to the solid architecture principles. Where we don't want to mix responsibilities, we want each thing to have its own responsibility, and this view model is responsible for just that, supplying our view with data and updating that data whenever under whatever circumstances, whether it's our CRUD operations or our filter operations, right? All of that stuff exists on the view model, and that is much better in terms of code.
I would recommend joining the Discord developer server, because I think there could be some vacancies open for Discord. Oh, really? Do you think they'd be hiring iOS devs, though? Maybe. I mean, they do have an iOS app.
Modularization and separation of concerns. So that's why I chose to put this here. And explaining that stuff in an interview is very important, guys. It communicates to the interviewer that really you just know what you're talking about, right? And your code is very well structured, and you keep clean architecture and solid architecture in mind as you're building a project. So now that we've talked about that and sort of gone over our reasoning as to why we did that, let's hop back into our prompt and see what we're going to do next. So I want to implement these two features next with editing our contact. So we want to enable the save button only if changes have been made to the contact. So that's going to be an interesting challenge. And if changes have been made and the user tries to exit, we're going to show an alert. So let's hop into our edit contact view and get started with that.
I actually do
So
know
ultimately
how to set up alerts. Oh, I know how to set up alerts, boys. He has a nice shirt and he looks handsome. And he has a GF and learns coding. Bro's accumulating wins. Yeah, I am, man. Not just a GF, but a fiance. Starting to use. Wait, what? Hope he marries before starting to use Arch? I don't even have a GF. I'm not enough handsome. Oh. Poor Hydroxer. Hey, everyone's handsome in their own way. Look at my hair, though, right now. It's like absolute garbage. It's absolute garbage. I had a shower and I've done nothing with it. And I just, boop, stream on. Arch is a Linux distribution. Oh, okay. Well, then yes, it's very likely I married before starting that. I'm ugly and proud. Lisa. Good. Why is Arch when You can use Nixos though. Why use Arch or Nixos though when you could get married? And just not a GF, a supporting GF. You're very lucky dude. Well, the support is like 80-20. But yes, generally yes. And I'm saying that because how to explain this? Like, how do I explain this actually? First of all, YouTube is YouTube. And we live, you know, we don't live in, I don't know, what I would think 5 years from now, like everyone's a YouTuber. Obviously that's not going to happen, but you know, it's going to be way more common. It's even really common today, but like, you know, it's not that realistic. My fiance is a realist. That's why there's an 80%, 20%, and it even exists with my coding endeavor. So I'm sponge donkey. Don't know what that means, but I like it. I don't know, I use Endeavor OS. It's a fair point, yeah. See? Arch is absolute goat. You should start using it. Well, maybe after I'm married. We'll see, I'll let you know. You know what? When I come across something, you don't count actually for this, but when I come across something that's not you, that in my face Arch is there, then I'll look into it. Means I'm SpongeBob. Sponge donkey. I see the direct resemblance to that idea. I already use Vim. If I start using Arch, my chances of finding a mate will drop to 0. Yeah. Is it a known trope that people who like coding have no relationships?
Solve this problem, we're going to need to check to see if this contact has changed. So basically what we can do, guys, is add another state property here called contact did change. And we're going to set that equal to false, right? Obviously, when the screen initializes, we haven't changed anything. So what I'm going to do to detect changes on this contact is say on change of our contact, old value, new value, and inside of this block we could simply say contact did change is true. Now this doesn't completely solve the problem yet, but it does get us started in the right direction. So basically, guys, this doesn't handle a situation if like I change the contact here and then I change it back to what the original state was, right? So if I change it to like gmail.net, but then I say, hey, I want to change it back to gmail.com, you notice the save button becomes disabled again because all of these things are equal to what the original contact was. So I need some means of detecting if this contact that we are modifying here is equal to the original contact that I passed in. So what I'm going to do is create a property called original contact. And it's going to be a contact. And I'm going to say self.originalContact is equal to that contact. So this is basically going to be our reference to check to see if this contact that gets modified as the user makes changes in these fields is we're going to check this guy against this guy. And this will always just be equal to the original contact that was passed in. It's never going to change. That's why we're making it a let constant and we're not making it a state property. Because we never want to be able to mutate this. This will serve as our sort of original like source of truth. So now down in my onChange modifier, I'm going to say contacted change is equal to new value is not equal to our original contact. So everything should build there accordingly. And guys, this comes back to the original point of why we implemented hashable conformance along with the identifiable protocol.
That's new for me as
I
well.
believe adding these two things also gives you conformance to the equatable protocol, which allows you to.
But this is really good because I know most of it, and anything I don't know, I can just actively research, which I can check up, and then the good thing about that is that since I already know so much, it's not like I'm trying to take in literally everything. Since I've learned most of this over time, I can just take in the stuff that I actually don't quite understand and then implement it, which, yes.
Check to see if things are equal to each other. But essentially, that is the reason why we did that, because we want to be able to do something like this. Is the new value that comes back as a result of this contact changing equal to the original contact or not? And that's the logic for how our contact did change property is computed. So now, guys, what I'm going to do to enable...
Okay, I just understood that. I didn't understand what he said, but I realized when I read this part here.
Enable or disable my save button.
Oh my god, no, sorry. This part here, contact did change equals if this is true or not.
Save button is go here and say dot disabled, and I'm going to say contact did change. So I believe we have to negate that, and we're going to say dot opacity contact did change. Yes is 1.0. No is 0.5. So we're going to use a ternary to do that. And next up, let's go ahead and test this out to see if it works.
Is that really gonna work?
We're going to go into our contacts view, go to LeBron James. And guys, we notice that off the bat, that's disabled, right? And if I change this, it becomes enabled. And if I change it back to the original contact information, it becomes disabled again. So our logic is working there beautifully. So really quickly, let's just change this to like .net, save, boom. Now this is the original contact state. I could change it back to like .com, save, and everything is looking good there. So that is going to check the next item off our list. We are now enabling the save button only if changes have been made to a contact. And that's going to bleed directly into our next point. If changes have been made and the user tries to exit, show an alert confirmation. So let's go ahead and do that. And guys, I am going to talk about these three properties here and why we have left these up. I'm going to explain why implementing this contact as a state property was better than implementing all of these individual state properties. And it mainly has to do with checking to see if our contact has changed or not, right? Like imagine if, we can just go over it now. Imagine if...
This like, it's actually, it feels like a really good quality video. And he said that this video was actually taken from his paid content. And he wanted to give this thing for free on YouTube. And I have to say, it's actually really good. It's really good for a YouTube video, in my opinion.
I had to check each one of these individual properties had changed and reference them against like contact dot first name or contact dot last name. So I think what I would have to do that is do like on change of first name. Okay, is the first name equal to the contact dot first name? And then add another modifier for last name and another modifier for email. And that's obviously not scalable, right? Like what if this contact had like 15 different fields for email, work, phone, blah, blah, blah. That would quickly become out of hand, right? So encapsulating all of that into our contact object as a state property and then passing along the properties we need to as bindings to our text field through the object itself that is treated as a state property in this view is a much better approach because we can simply check with one modifier if the contact changed or not, right? So that's why I chose that approach. We don't need these properties anymore, so I'm going to delete those. And that's pretty important to understand. Took me a while to work through that in my head when I was building this. But this is looking really, really good, guys. And also keep a note of the time that we have. Like, total coding time has probably only been about 35, 40 minutes. There's been a lot of time I've spent explaining things and stuff like I'm doing right now. And I believe we're just over an hour in this video. So once again, that gives you guys an idea of how much you can accomplish or should be able to accomplish in a given time frame with an app like this. And we're already in the bonus features section, right? So that means that like this is considered like, hey, you're probably doing really well in this if you had time to get to the bonus feature section. When I did this interview, I did make it to the bonus feature section. I don't think I completed all of them, but I got pretty close. And I ended up getting a job offer for over 200K from this job. So guys, let's go ahead and continue. We need...
Did you hear that? Thank you very much, Lisa. Good night. I'm gonna make lots of apps. It's crazy. I just heard him say he did this with most of the bonus features. He didn't make it all the way through, but he got offered a 200K per year contract, like job offer, 200K. Dude, what the fuck? That's insane. And I know most of this. What? Am I gonna be rich? Am I gonna be rich soon? In the future? Like, in the near future? Bro, I'm gonna be rich. I've done a live. So most of you haven't done any yet. Yeah, I'll be rich very soon. Yes. For money. Because we live in this dumbass society that requires money to do anything. It's fucked. It's cool to see that a lot of you guys have actually done these live and take-home interviews. Like with coding. Most of you actually haven't done it yet. Just like me. I'm not canceled by YouTube yet. This is technically not for a kid's stream, so if you're a kid, maybe you don't belong here. Wink. I don't know what that means, what I did.
To implement an alert, and it is going to be linked to our contact did change logic as well. So I'm going to say I want to create another state private var of show exit confirmation. And that's going to equal false. Before we implement our alert modifier, let's figure out how we want to handle the logic for toggling this property. So guys, when I cancel, I basically want to check to see if the contact has changed. If it has,
I know, I can't. I can watch my mouth in this video here. I can see it.
Then I want to present this alert, right? So for example, let me show you what it looks like. If I go here and change the contact and try to get out of it, it's going to say, hey, do you want to stay or discard your changes? So the logic for this should be pretty simple based on how we've structured our code. We just want to say, if contact did change, show exit confirmation equals true. Else, we'll dismiss. And guys, I'm going to extract this out to a function. So I'm going to go here and say func on cancel and paste that in there and go here and just say on cancel. So we can see how this really organizes our code really, really well. And, you know, we don't have to have a bunch of all of this like sort of logic or code inside of our button handlers inside of our view body. It's a lot cleaner. Okay. So next up, we just have to get our alert modifier in here, and that should be pretty simple. Guys, in these interviews, if you don't have to remember how to do this stuff off the top of your head. Like, they allow you to use Google. So you could just say, like, hey, how do I show an alert in SwiftUI? Because I honestly don't even remember that off the top of my head. There's so many different modifiers, but you should know that you have to create an alert modifier. And then if you need to look up how to do it,
I know. I'm so sleepy right now. That's why. If I play Guild Wars, I'm like, we're all waking up. But this is so interesting too at the same time, so. It seems like I'm lying, but it is.
that's totally fine. Like, interviewers shouldn't expect you to know all of this stuff off the top of your head. You should just know what you need to do and be able to say, hey, I know I need to show an alert. I know this is kind of how I do it. Can I look up like the actual syntax associated with it? And they'd be like, yeah, sure. And if they don't, you probably don't want to work there anyway. So guys, we're going to use title key is presented and actions here. So our title key is going to be unsaved changes. Let's get this alert back up and see what we want to do. Unsaved changes. You have unsaved changes. That's going to be part of our message. Let's see. Is presented is going to be show exit confirmation. Actions is going to be button, stay, and our role for that button is going to just be a cancellation. Dot cancel. And we don't need an action. Cancel will automatically dismiss the alert. And then button, discard changes. And the role for that is going to be dot destructive. And here we're going to say we want to dismiss. All right, so let's go ahead and test this out. That should be all we have to do. And go back to contacts view.
Would make sense, yeah.
And we'll go to LeBron James. We'll try to edit his information. We'll hit cancel and check that out. Guys, we don't need to implement the message or anything like that. This is totally fine. If we discard changes, it dismisses. And if we hit stay, it stays. So we're tested. We're good to go. That's another feature checked off the list. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, let's see. Enable. Okay, yeah, we're good. So we are complete with edit contact. Now, next up, guys, we need to do the same thing for deleting a contact, and we'll also implement swipe to delete. And then we will do a full breakdown of the code and hop into our follow-up questions as well. That's something that's pretty common. Like, you might have like some sort of follow-up round that where like they'll ask you to sort of break down your code. That's especially common in take-home interviews. If this were a take-home interview, well, they'll be like, hey, we want to have a session to review everything you did, where they sort of grill you and ask you questions just to make sure that you actually know what you're doing and you didn't just copy and paste the code from ChatGPT or something. So we'll do that once we get these two features done. This should go pretty quickly as well. Back in our edit contact view, we are going to add another state property to show a delete confirmation. So we can just copy and paste that. We could just say show delete confirmation. And it's going to be very similar to our alert here. So we could just copy and paste that. And it's going to say delete contact with a question mark, I guess. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, are you sure you want to blah, blah, blah. We don't need the message. We'll just have two actions for cancel and delete. So this will be cancel. This will be delete. And guys, we just need to change sort of how we handle the logic here. So, or what we call, right? So delete contact is what we're going to paste in when the user actually hits that delete button now. And when they hit the delete button, we are, instead of deleting the contact, we're going to just show the alert. So we're going to say show delete confirmation dot toggle. And let's see, we hit this, or let's go back to our contact view. And we'll go try to delete LeBron James. Oh, I think that is linked to, we need to go back to edit contact view and say show delete confirmation instead of show exit confirmation. And go back here. And test that out. Delete. Sweet. Delete. And it deletes him. We try to delete Kobe. We hit cancel. It doesn't. Okay. We're good to go there once again. And we can check that off our list. And we can see how quickly these are going, guys. These little bonus features. So that's good. And then let's see what we could do for swipe to delete. So because we are using a list, we are automatically going to get access to this
Should be
feature
easier. Easy enough to do
with
this.
swiping. And it's actually really simple to implement, guys. We can just go into our contacts view. And on our contact row view, we could add some swipe actions. I could say .swipe actions content. And it's going to be a button. And we're going to say with animation. View
Wait,
model.
This is different, actually.
.delete contacts. And we just pass that in there. And the label. Oops. It's just going to be image, system name, trash. And I believe that's good. Oops. And once again, this is stuff that you could clearly look up. I've just done this so many times. I just kind of have this memorized, guys. And that's never a bad thing, right? Like if you have this stuff memorized, it just makes an interviewer go, wow, this guy is really, really fluent with SwiftUI development and overall iOS development. So it's a huge plus the quicker you can do these things. And then we're just going to give this a .tint of .red. And guys, if I go here, boom, that's showing up. Click it. We delete. Boom. And that's it. So that completely wraps up our functionality for this feature. So let's just make sure we got everything checked off. We got our data. We got all these checked off. These. Yes. We are fully checked off, guys. So for the remainder of this video, we're going to be, doing these follow-up questions first. And
I think I figured out why this stream showed up my recommended videos. I recently bought a Zwift bike. I watched some videos about that. Oh. What the hell is a Zwift bike? Is that like a electric bike or something? Could be. It misinterpreted Swift as Zwift, perhaps. So I'm gonna end the stream there. I've just overturned 2 hours. And not that I was specifically trying to go for 2 hours, but I wanted to finish that video off for some study today. I did some study earlier this morning, but yeah, this video was really calling me, to be honest. I was like, wow, I really need to watch this. So yeah, that was fascinating to watch, and I'm definitely going to go back over that, and I'll probably finish the follow-up question stuff later on my own time. It's a trainer that you hook up to a game and play against others. Oh, interesting. That's totally not what I thought it was. That's good though. Like for training isn't like fitness. Yeah, so tomorrow I actually think I won't be on because I have a date with my fiance tomorrow night. And it's in the evening, so yeah, I probably won't be on tomorrow. But Wednesday and Thursday I should be on as well, so I'll see you guys Wednesday if you guys are free. And yeah, I think that's about it. Feel free to join my Discord if you want. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't. I think most of you guys have already, so I appreciate that. Thank you. And yeah, I'll keep you updated. I'm gonna add some more sections or some more content to my Discord. I want to like do a screenshot area where I update like my apps and how they're going and stuff if I'm working on them off stream and all that. Yeah, would love to chat with you guys in there as well. So if you guys want to, no pressure. yeah, I'm actually in between doing this, following this, which is Swiftful Thinking. Going through all his videos and like just getting the knowledge in there, and then even just going through the basics again with hacking with Swift, because you know you can never have too much of basics in my opinion, never. So yeah, working on all of that at the moment. So thank you for joining, and I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna get some sleep. I think I really need it tonight. I don't know, I just feel like I didn't sleep enough. Got up too early, sleeping too late. Keep doing it. Let's check out this poll real quick. Have you ever done a developer take-home live interview? You haven't done any? 57%. Haven't done any. I have 26 votes. And I'm definitely in that boat there. Hopefully not for long. A lot of you have done both as well. Really good. Well done. Bravery in everyone here. Alright guys, I'll catch you in my next one. Good night. Have a great rest of your day or night.